So, good day everyone. Welcome to chapter 2 of statistical analysis with software applications, which is the frequency distributions and graphs. In this chapter, there are three lessons. So, those are organizing data, histograms, frequency polygons, and all gives. And then the last one is the other types of graphs and charts. So in this video, I'm going to discuss to you the first topic, which is the organizing of data. So when conducting a statistical studies, so the researchers must gather data from particular variables under study. So for example, um, if a researcher wishes to study the number of people were bitten by the poisonous snakes in a specific geographic area over the past years, past several years, he or she has to gather data from various doctors, hospital, and or health departments. Okay, so to describe these situations and then draw conclusion and make inferences, so the researchers must organize the data in some meaningful ways. And the most convenient method of organizing data is to construct the frequency distribution table. So after organizing the data, the researcher must present them so that they can be understood by those who will be benefit from reading the studies. And the most useful method of presenting data is by constructing statistical graphs and charts. So in this chapter, there are different types of charts and graphs that I'm going to discuss. Some of them are histogram, the frequency polygons, the ogives, the pie charts, bar graph, Pareto charts, and even the time series graphs. So let's start by this discussion by creating the frequency distribution tables. Okay, so for the learning outcome, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to organize data using the frequency distribution. Okay, so dito kasi I'm very familiar uh, with this one, and I called this frequency distribution as FTT, or the frequency distribution table. So when I was teaching them these statistics senior high school, so ang tawag ko sa kanya ay FDT, or frequency distribution table. Okay, so I have here an example uh, of wealthy people, and I'm going to discuss to you how to construct frequency distribution table using this example. So suppose a researcher wished to do a study on the ages of top 50 wealthiest people in the world. The researcher first would have to get the data on the ages of the people. In this case, these ages are listed in Forbes magazine. So, ito yung ages ng 50 wealthiest people in the world. So, ayan yan. So, hindi ko na siya babasahin. Tignan nyo na lang. And then later naman, may mga example natin na kailangan kong basahin. Okay. So, paano ngayon construct ang frequency distribution table? So, before we construct, define muna natin siya. So, since little information can be found or obtained by looking the raw data, the researcher organized the data into what we call the frequency distribution table. Okay, so the frequency distribution table is an organization of raw data in table form using the classes and frequency. Okay, so frequency distribution table consists of classes and their corresponding frequency. So each raw data value is placed in quantitative, okay, and then qualitative category called classes. Okay, so say class, Okay, it could be a qualitative or quantitative category. Okay, it could be number or qualitative. Okay, next is the frequency of the class, then is the number of data value of contained as of a specific class, okay, or in a specific class. So si frequency, ito yung bilang kung ilan ang nagfo-fall sa bawat class. Okay, so yung kaninang example natin ng wealthy people, so ito yung frequency distribution table niya. So etong part na to, ito yung tinatawag na classes, at itong part na to, ito yung frequency. Okay, so dito mapapansin natin na sa classes may tinatawag siya na class limit. And then yung distribution niya are from 35 to 41, 42 to 48, 49 to 55, 56 to 62, 63 to 69, 70 to 76, 77 to 83, 84 to 90. So those are tinatawag natin na class interval or the class limit. So ito yung mga classes natin. Ngayon, si frequency, yung data or value na makikita natin within this range, itatali natin siya. Okay, itatali natin siya at i-convert natin siya into numerical value. So, since may tatlo na ang age ay 35 to 41, so itinali natin siya and then iyon yung frequency niya. Okay, so may tatlo din na ang ages ay from 42 to 48, may apat na ang ages ay 49 to 55, may 10 na ang ages ay 56 to 62, may 10 na ang ages ay 63 to 69, may 5 na ang ages ay between 70 to 76, 10 having the age of 77 to 83, and then 5 naman ang may ages na 84 to 90. Okay, so that is the frequency distribution table of wealthy people. So there are two types of frequency distribution tables. So number one is the categorical frequency distribution, and then the last one is the group frequency distribution. So ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng dalawa na ito at kailan natin gagamitin si categorical frequency distribution at si group frequency distribution? Okay, so let's start with categorical frequency distribution. Okay, so the categorical frequency distribution is used for data that can be placed in specific categories such as nominal and ordinal level data. So again, si categorical frequency distribution, ginagamit lang siya sa nominal at ordinal data. Okay, so for example, political affiliation sa mga party list, religious affiliation, Roman Catholic, diba? Born again Christian, so on and so forth. Or the major field of study would use categorical frequency distribution. Basta category, so magpo-fall siya sa categorical frequency distribution. Okay, so example tayo. Okay, so distribution of blood types. So 25 armies inductees were given a blood test to determine their blood type. And the data sets is A, B, AB, BA, B, BOO, A, BA, BOO, A, OA, OO, BO, ABO, BAB. So we are tasked to construct the frequency distribution table for those data. So again, itong mga data na to, ang tawag dyan ay dataset, or some they are called the raw data. Raw data means ibig sabihin hindi pa nakaayos. Okay. So kung papansinin natin, A and B are categorical data. So magfo-fall siya sa nominal kasi wala naman siyang order na sinusunod. Okay. So let's proceed constructing the frequency distribution of these categorical data. Okay, so ito yung real data natin. Okay, so kailangan natin gumawa ng table. So first column nandiyan dyan si class, second column is the tally, then the frequency. At ang last column, later ko na-explain kung ano yan. So si class natin, dyan natin isusulat yung mga blood type na meron sa raw data natin or sa dataset. Ano-ano yon? So those are A, type B, type O, and then type AB. So sa tally naman, bibilangin natin yung lahat ng may type A. Let's start. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 type A's among 25 soldiers. So itali natin siya 5 and sulat natin ito yung numerical value. Next is B. So bilangan natin yung B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So itali natin 7 and its frequency is 7. Okay. Next, O. Bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we have 9 here. Its frequency is 9. And then the last one is AB. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So there are 4 AB sa tally natin and then convert natin to numerical value which is 4 as its frequency. Okay, so para malaman natin na kompleto yung ginawa natin, so i-add natin yung lahat ng frequency na to. At kailangan equal siya sa number of sample or number of dataset natin. So we have 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 9 is 21, plus 4 is 25. So total is 25. Okay, so ngayon, paano naman tong last column na to? Yung last column na to, dyan natin lalagay yung percent or yung percentage. So paano computing si percentage? Okay, so to find the percentage of values of in each class, so using the formula is a percentage is equals to F over N multiplied by 100%. Yung F na to, ito yung frequency natin. Yung N na to, ito yung number of datasets. Total number of datasets. Okay, so let's start. For type A, yung frequency niya ay 5 divided by 25 multiplied by 100, so that is 20%. For letter B, ang frequency niya ay 7 divided by 25, then multiplied by 100, and that is 28%. For letter O, type O, there are 5 over 25 multiplied by 100, so that is equal to 36. And then for type AB, we have 4 divided by 25 multiplied by 100, and that is equals to 16%. So therefore, yung percentage ng A is 20%, percentage ng B is 28%, ang percentage ng O ay 26%, and then ang percentage ng type AB is 16%. Okay, so lagay natin siya sa table. A is 20%, B is 28%, O is 36%, and then AB is 16%. Okay, so i-add natin lahat ng percentage na yan. So, it would be equal to 100%. Okay, so dito pa lang, makakapag-draw na tayo ng conclusion. So, paano? So, dito masasabi na natin sa percentage and then sa frequency na mas marami yung type O. So, pwede natin sabihin, okay, 36% of the soldiers having the blood type O. Okay, and then the least is AB, which is 60%. Okay, so for the group frequency distribution, so when the range of the data set is large, the data must be grouped into classes that are more than one unit in width. Okay, so in what called the group frequency distribution. Okay, so si group frequency distribution kapag ang dataset natin ay kapag ang range ng dataset natin ay malaki at hindi kaya na single or one unit in width, yung mga classes natin or class limit natin or class interval natin. Okay, so gagamit tayo ng group frequency distribution table. Okay, so paano yun? So there are rules to consider in constructing the group frequency distribution. So number one, so there should be between 5 to 20 classes. Okay, so dito sa classes, may ginagamit tayong formula. So, yung other books ay gumagamit ng formula as k is equals to square root of n. So, doon, kailangan kapag ang n natin ay in between 5 and 20, so gagamit tayo ng frequency distribution table. Kapag hindi naman, okay, so ang gagamitin lang natin ay yung ungrouped. So later tuturo ko sa inyo yung ungrouped. Okay, so next is it is probably but not absolutely necessary that the width could be odd numbers. Okay, so this ensures that the midpoint of each class is the same value as data. So, sa width na tinatawag nito, ito yung range ng bawat class. Ito yung interval ng bawat classes. Okay. Third one, the classes must be mutually exclusive. Pag sinabing mutually exclusive, so there must no overlapping class limits. So, for example, yung class limit natin or class interval natin is 1 to 5. So, hindi pwedeng 5 to 6, 5 to 10. So, kailangan 6 to 10. So, hindi siya nag-overlap. Ulitin ko ha. So, for example, yung class limit natin, yung first class limit natin ay 1 to 5. So, kailangan hindi siya mag-overlap sa second class limit. So, hindi siya pwedeng maging 5 to 10. Kundi, ang mangyayari doon, so kung ang class limit natin, yung first class limit natin is 1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5. Yung second class limit natin is 6 to 10. Okay, so dito mapapansin natin hindi nag-overlap yung mga classes natin. Okay, number 4, classes must be continuous. Pag sinabing continuous, dapat dire-diretso at walang gaps. So, dito, hindi hindi pwedeng maging 1 to 5 and then bigla ka tatalon sa 7 to 10. Okay, hindi pwedeng gano'n. Kasi kung papasinin natin, yung 5 at 7 ay hindi continuous. Pero dito, 5 and 6 continuous yun. Okay, number 4. Okay, classes must be exhaustive. So, kumbaga, ang sinasabi dito, there should be enough classes to accommodate all data. Okay. So, kailangan, precise, ibig sabihin malinaw. Okay, malinaw yung bawat kompleto. Okay, kompleto, may enough classes na kailangan ma-accommodate ng bawat data. Okay, the last one is, sabi dyan, classes must be equal in width. So, kung ano yung range, kung ano yung interval ng first class, kailangan ganun din yung interval ng second class, ng third class, hanggang sa dulong class. Hindi natin pwede sabihin na ang first class, for example, is less than 5. So, hindi pwede yun. Kasi pag sinabi natin less than 5, kasama si negative yon. Tapos yung kasunod mo ay 6 to 10. Di rin naman pwede natin sabihin na, halimbawa, 1 to 5, 6 to, or greater than 6. So, hindi pwede ngayon, or 6 above. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin yun. Kasi nga, pag sinabing 6 above, pwede siyang lumagpas ng 11 and then 12. So, later maintindihan yan kapag nasa ginagawa na natin yun. So, ito yung step in constructing the group frequency distribution table. So, number 1 step is determine the classes. So, itong determining the classes, medyo madami to at ito yung isa sa pinaka tricky at mahirap. Okay, so, una, find the highest and then the lowest value in the data set or the raw data. After doing that, so find the range using the formula R is equals to H minus L, or range is equals to highest value minus lowest value. Next is the number of classes. Okay, yung formula nito is K is equals to square root of N. Yung number of classes na to, ito yung number of rows. Okay. Okay, sa bawat class limit natin. Next is to find the class width. So, ang formula niyan is C is equals to R over K. Yung class width naman, ito yung interval ng bawat classes. For example, 1 to 5, 6 to 10. So, yun yung class width na tinatawag. At yung number of classes, yun yung bawat row. Okay, next is select the starting point. So, yung starting point is most common ay yung pinaka-lowest values. And then, add the class width to get the lower limit. Okay, so i-add natin yung class width natin para makuha natin yung lower limit. And then, find the upper class limit. And then, find the boundaries. Okay, for step 2, tally the data, and then last step is find the numerical frequency from the tallies and find the cumulative frequency. So those are the following steps in constructing the group frequency distribution table. Okay, so proceed tayo sa example. Okay, so let's try this one. Record high temperature. These data represent the record high temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit. So for each of the 50 states, construct the group frequency distribution. So 50 state ang nakalagay dyan. So therefore, meron tayong 50 raw data. So ano yung mga temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So you have 12, 112, 110, 107, 116. So, yun yung lahat. So, di ko na isa-isahin. Okay, so anyway, nandiyan naman siya sa ano natin, sa mga susunod na slide. Okay, so next is, let's start with step number 1, determine the classes. Okay, so first one is find the highest values and then the lowest values. So in this data set, ano yung highest value? So try natin tingnan. 112. Okay, so we have here, yung highest value natin is 114 and then the lowest value natin ay 100. So now, find the range. Compute for the range. Range is equals to R is equals to H minus L. So that is R is equals to 134 minus 100 at ang range natin is equals to 24. Okay, now let's now find the number of classes or K. Sinabi number of classes kung ilang row siya. Okay, so ang N natin ay yung total number of dataset. So kanina nakita natin na 50, so therefore K is equals to 50 is equals to square root of 50 and this is approximately equal to 7. So meron daw tayong 7 row para sa group frequency distribution na yan. Okay, next step is to find the class width using the formula C is equals to R over K. So yung range natin kanina is 34 at yung K natin ay 7. So therefore, we have C is equals to 34 over 7 is equals to 4.9 and that is approximately equal to 5. So ang ginawa natin dito ay ni-round up natin. So again, round up the answer. Okay, so round up is different in rounding off. Pag sinabi natin round up, once na may decimal point at isang number, i-round up na natin yon into next whole number. So for example, if we're going to divide 85 divided by 6 and that is equals to 14.167, kapag ni-round up natin siya, 50 na siya kasi nga may decimal point na siya. So napaka-importante niyan kasi para hindi tayo para yung range natin sa pagbibilang natin ay papasok siya doon. So for example naman, so we have 53 divided by 4 and that is equals to 13.25. Okay, di ba pag na-round off tayo, so 13 lang dapat siya. So since round up yung gagamitin natin, magiging 14 siya. So yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Okay, so next is select the starting point and add the class width to get the lower limit. So kanina, yung starting point natin, sabi ko nga, ay ito yung lowest value. Ano ba yung lowest value natin? Diba 100. So ngayon, para makuha natin yung lahat ng lower limits natin, so i-add natin yung class width natin. So 100 plus 5 is 105. 105 plus 5 is 110. 110 plus 5 is 115. 115 plus 5 is equals to 120. 120 plus 5 is 125. And then last one, we have 125 plus 5 is 130. So, kailan tayo mag-stop? Kapag nakumpleto na natin yung number of classes. Ano ba yung number of classes natin? Diba 7? So, bilangin natin. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, dun lang tayo mag-stop. So, yun yung importante ng number of classes natin sa paggawa ng frequency distribution table at sa pag-identify ng classes natin. Kasi minsan, kapag di natin alam yung number of classes natin, susobra na tayo sa ano natin, which is sobra na tayo sa number of classes natin kung saan hindi naman applicable at hindi nakasama sa range natin. Okay. Next. Okay, so find the upper limits. Okay, so kanina lower limits yun. Yung mga lower limits na nakita natin is yung 10, yung 100, 105, 110, 115, 120, 125, 130. So those are our lower limits. So para ma-identify natin yung lower limit, so mag-a-add tayo ng C plus 1, C minus 1. So yung C natin ay 5. Tama. Okay, so minus 1 is equals to 4. So yung 4 na to, i-add natin sa lower limit natin. So yung kanina, meron tayong 100 plus 4 is equals to 104. 105 plus 4 is equals 109. 110 plus 4 is equals to 114. 115 plus 4 is equals to 119. 120 plus 4 is equal to 124. 125 plus 4 is equal to 129. 130 plus 4 is equal to 134. Okay, so as you observe, yung 134, ito na yung highest value natin. Okay, so ngayon, construct natin yung class limit. Okay, yung kanina, from 100 to 104, yung lower limit natin is yung 100, yung upper limit natin is 104. Next is 105 to 109, 110 to 114, 115 to 119, 120 to 124, 125 to 129, 130 to 134. So those our class limit or class interval. Okay, so next, let's find the class boundaries. So, paano gagawin natin sa class boundaries? So, dito sa second column na nakita nyo dito yung LTCP and then UTCP. Yung LTCP, ibig sabihin yan, the lower true class boundary, and then the UTCB is the upper true class boundaries. So, paano kunin yon? Sa lower true class boundary, magpa-minus lang tayo ng 0.5 dito sa mga lower limit natin. And to get the upper true class boundaries, magpa-plus tayo ng 0.5 dito sa upper limit. So 100 minus 0.5, we have 99.5, and then 104 plus 0.5, we have 104.5. So that is our first class boundary natin. Okay, for the second class boundary, so we have 104.5 minus 109. So yung 110 minus 0.5, we have 109.5 to 114.5. Next is 114.5 to 119.5. Next is 119.5 to 124.5. And then we have 124.5 to 129.5. And then 129.5 to 139.5. So, ito yung class limit natin. Ito naman ang ating class boundary. So, now, mag-start na tayo mag-tally. Yan. So, ito yung table natin. So, ito yung mga class interval natin, true class boundaries, the tally, and then the frequency. Okay, so, ayan yung mga ano natin, interval natin. Ito yung mga class boundaries natin. Okay, so let's start now for tally. So, sa pagtatally natin, so, aalamin natin kung ilan ang papasok sa range na 100 to 104. Okay, so bilangin natin yan. So we have here Okay, 1, 2. Okay. So, yung 100 at yung 104, sila lamang yung pasok sa range ng 104. So, therefore, we have 2 here sa tally and its frequency is 2. Next, bilangin natin kung ilan ang pasok sa range na 105 to 109. So, we have here 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, so may 8 na okay na temperature in between 105 to 109. Next, bilangin natin yung nasa may 110 to 114 na range. So you have 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So, merong 18 na ang temperature ay between 110 to 114. Okay, next. Bilangin natin yung temperature na meron between 115 to 119. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ano pa ba? 13 lang. So, we have 13 temperature between 115 to 119. Okay, next, 120 to 124. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there are 7. Okay, temperature between 120 to 124. Next, 125 to 129. So we have 1. Okay, only 1. And then the temperature between 130 and 134. So only 1. So ngayon, iyan na yung ating frequency distribution table. So para malaman natin kung kumpleto, so i-add natin tong frequency natin, isa-isa, kailangan saktong 50 yon. So 2 plus 8, so that is equal to 10. 10 plus 18, so 28. Okay, so 18 plus 13, so that is equal to 31, plus 7, so that is equal to 38, plus 1, 39. Oh, mali yata ako. So 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 13 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1. So that is equal to 50. Okay, so kompleto tayo. Ayan na ang ating group frequency distribution table. Okay, so ngayon, let's construct the cumulative frequency. So ano naman yung tinatawag na cumulative frequency? It is a distribution that shows the number of data values less than or equal to a specific value. So usually, upper boundary ang ginagamit natin doon. So the value are found by adding the frequency the classes less than or equal to the upper classes class boundary of a specific class. So this give an ascending cumulative frequency. So ibig sabihin ng ascending, pataas. So paano ba kinukuha yan? So ito yung example natin. Okay, so ito yung kaninang ano natin, frequency distribution. Okay, so paano construct si cumulative frequency? So kukunin natin doon, sabi doon, di ba yung less than upper class boundaries. Okay, kaya lang dito mag-start tayo with 99.5, yung first lower class boundary, kasi ito ay upper class boundary din naman ng iba. So dito pwede natin sabihin na that is less than 99.5, next is less than 105.5, at ang susundan na natin ay mga ito. So we have less than 109.5, less than 114.5, less than 119.5, less than 124.5, less than 129.5, and then less than 139.34.5. Okay, so ngayon, bibilangin natin kung ilan yung less than 99.5. So, ilan ba yung less than 99.5? So, in this case, ang range natin ay from 99.5 to 104. So, therefore, wala siyang nakalagay na data. Okay. Ngayon, ilan ang less than 104.5? There are 2. So, ilan naman ang less than 109? So, gawin lang natin, we have 2 plus 8, so that is equals to 10. Okay. Next, how many are less than 114.5? So, 2 plus 8 plus 18, so we have 28. So, how many are less than 119? So, 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 13, so we have 41, 41. 28 plus 13, we have 41. And then, how many are less than 124.5? So, 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 13 plus 7, so we have 48. Okay, how many are less than 129? So, ito yung 129. So, we have 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 13 plus 7 plus 1. We have 49. And the last one, how many are less than 13? 134.5. So, 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 13 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1 is equals to 50. Okay, so yung shortcut dito, so mag-start lang tayo sa 0 and then 2. Copy si 2. So, 2 plus 8 is equals to 10. 10 plus 18, we have 20. Okay, we have, ulitin ko, 2 plus 8 is equals to 10. Okay, 10 plus 18, we have 28. So, 28 plus 13, we have 41. 41 plus 7, we have 48. 48 plus 1, we have 49. Then 49 plus 1 is equals to 50. So, that is how we get the cumulative frequency. Okay, so yung mga frequency na yan, magagamit natin yan in constructing the graphs. Okay, so now let's proceed to ungrouped frequency distribution table. So when the range of the data are relatively small, okay, so gagamitin natin yung ungrouped frequency distribution table. So frequency distribution can be constructed using single value. Pag sinabing single data value for each class, wala siyang interval, wala siyang limit, wala siyang class limit at wala siyang class interval. Single unit lang or single data lang yung gagamitin natin. So, example tayo. So, MPGs for SUVs. So, data shown here represent the number of miles per gallon, so MPG, that 30 selected four-wheel drives for utility vehicles obtained in city driving. Construct the frequency distribution table and analyze the distribution. Okay, so may analysis yan. So, pag ako nagpagawa ng mga activities ay kailangan yung analysis personal. Okay, so do not copy others analysis kasi we have different analysis. Okay, so ito yung mga distribution niyan. We have 12, 17, 15, 17, 15, 12, 12, 15, 15, 14, 16, 15, 16, 12, 19, 18, 15, 13, 16, 16, 16, 18, 16, 18, 12, 12, 16, and then 16, 14, 14. Okay, so now let's construct the frequency distribution table of ungrouped data. Okay, so number one, determine the classes. So same steps pa rin naman yung gagawin natin. So find the highest and lowest value. Okay, so yung highest is 19 and the lowest ay 12. Okay, so get the range. Highest value is 19 and then the lowest value is 12. Get the range h minus L. So that is 19 minus 12 is equals to 7. So kung papansinin natin 7, yung ano niya, yung range niya. Okay, at kung papansinin natin, 'di ba, kung bibilangin natin from 12 to 19 bilangin natin. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Meron lang siyang 8. Okay, so pwede natin gamitin na para sa kanyang number of classes ay 8. So single value yung pwede natin gamitin para diyan. At hindi na natin kailangan computein yung number of classes na yun. At yung class interval. So dito, diretso kagad tayo sa class limit. So we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so yan yon. Okay, so ngayon, paano naman natin kukunin yung class boundaries? So sa pagkuha ng class boundaries, magma-minus tayo ng 0.5 sa 12 at mag-a-add tayo ng 0.5 sa 12. Okay, so we have here 11.5 to 12.5. Next is 12.5 to 13.5. 13.5 to 14.5. 14.5 to 15.5. 15.5 to 16.5. 16.5 to 17.5. 17.5 to 18.5. And 18.5 to 19.5. So that is how we construct the class limit or the classes and then the class boundaries. Okay, so next, magtatali na tayo. So, bibilangin natin kung ilan yung 12. So, let's try to count. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, itali natin. So, we have 6 and its frequency in numerical value, 6. Next, let us count 13. So, 1. So, only 1. Okay, next, 14. Let's count 14. 1, 2, 3. So, there are only 3. Okay, for 13. For 14, rather. Then 15. How many are 15? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are 6, 15. Next, how many are 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7, 8 rather. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 8, 16 sa data set natin. Okay, so how many 17 in our data sets? So we have 7, 1, 2. Okay, so there are only 2. By how many 18? So we have 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 18s. And then how many 19s? So we have only 1 19. Okay, so again, to check if we are already have a complete tally or frequency, i-add natin yan. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 8 is 16, 24. Okay, 24 plus 2, 26. Okay, 26 plus 3, 29 plus 1, we have 30. Complete natin yung 30. Okay, 30 SUVs. Okay, so now let's construct the frequency, the cumulative frequency. Okay, so parang kanina lang din. So how many are less than 11.5? Okay, so kinopy lang natin to and then lahat ng upper two class boundaries. Tingnan natin yung less than. So let's start with 0, 0, and then 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. 26 plus 3 is 29. 29 plus 1 is 30. Ngayon, so paano natin yung interpretation yan at analysis natin dyan? Okay, for our analysis, we can say that 24 SUV having less than 16.5, okay, na class limit. Okay, na merong MPG, milliliter per gallon. So meron namang pwede din sabi na 10 SUV having 14.5 or less than 13.5 na may milliliter per gallon na gas. Okay, so ganun lang yun. Okay, so reason for constructing FTT. So number one is to organize data in a meaningful and tangible way. So kasi kapag ang data na ibibigay natin na aero, nakakahilong tingnan at hindi natin nabibigyan ng kahulugan kasi raw nga lang siya. Next, to enable the reader to determine the nature or shape of the distribution. Okay, kung pataas ba yung distribution or pababa ba yung distribution o yung tinatawag na curve. Okay, bell curve ba siya? Napa-flat ba yung curve? Next, to facilitate computational procedure a measure of average and spread. So dito, this talks about the measure of central tendency and the measure of variation. So okay, mas madali natin makakompute yung measure of central tendency and then measure of variation kapag naka-tabular form. Next is to enable the researcher to draw charts and graphs for presentation of data. So for our next lesson, next video, so ipapakita ko sa inyo kung paano gumawa ng charts and graphs. Okay, so last one is to enable the reader to make the comparison among the different datasets. So mas madali natin kumpara yung mga dataset na yun. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening and wait for your activities in Google Classroom.